Good evening, Australia. Welcome to Psychic TV International Thursday night and evening with Psychic TV. We have the beautiful Sathia on tonight. She has a beautiful backdrop for starters, but also a very beautiful soul. The way she connects and talks to spirit is quite unique in her way, and I'm excited to go a bit deeper about how that all started and how it sort of has come about. It's quite a unique way, and it's really fascinating. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about that. But do say hello if you are on the thread and like this page and share this page if you can, so we can try and reach and help as many people as we possibly can tonight. Lisa made it on time. You did. You did really well. You're learning. You're learning. That's the important thing. Um, Stephanie's good. I'm excited to see our guest tonight. Anna, good to see you as well. So, yes, do like and share this page. So, as always, if you are new, you might not be familiar, but if you are a regular, you know that we don't do psychic reading questions on this show tonight. That is saved for Saturday night with Harry T. However, tonight we do ask any sort of spiritual type. Sure. Our guest is just privately messaging me, but that's no worries. So, um, yes, any sort of spiritual based type questions that you would like to answer tonight. All about learning this year. It is all about learning. Oh, but yeah, well, actually, tonight's all about learning as well. Um, sorry, my guest is just needing a few more minutes to get the camera ready. So we'll just kill some time in the meantime, but she's in the background ready to come live. So, yes, any sort of spiritual questions for Sathia that you want to ask tonight about her gift, about her journey, or about. We're actually talking backstage before coming online. We're actually discussing vision boards, and I haven't actually brought that up on this show before. So I'm kind of, that might be something that we talk about, the vision boards and how it works. If you do it, if it's worked for you, everyone has a different version. So if you do a vision board, let us know in the comments, and we'll have a bit of a discussion topic about that as well. But of course, there's many other topics that we can talk about tonight. You just let us know in the comments what you would like to know. But I am very excited to learn about our guest tonight. So thank you for coming on. Do say hello, join in on the conversation. It's how this show works. It is a very interactive type show. So for the show to work well, we need you to get involved, say hello, ask questions, general just conversation, so we can definitely get the ball rolling. But of course, if you do want a psychic reading, we have some beautiful psychics currently available on psychictvinternational.com. We've got Benjamin available on 9166, Blessed Beth on 9150, Elsie on 9155, Judas Sky on pin 9125, and Natalie Norm Baker, who was on a call before but is now available on 9810. Of course, the fun is all here. Lisa is saying, sorry, I've just seen your Chris was the first time I've actually seen it on you. Oh, you must have missed a bunch of lives, Lisa. I've been wearing this now for about 2-3 weeks now. So I wore it on my live on Sunday both times, and it's been here back on Thursday, but it did disappear for a while. It did abandon me for a little while, but it found me again. So we've reconnected, which is great. So our guest is ready. So yes, like I said, definitely like and share this page if you can. We want to try and reach as many people as we possibly can tonight. Get your questions ready, and please welcome our beautiful guest to the stage. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me tonight.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
It's good to see you as well. You've got quite a bit of a journey there, and I can't wait to sort of unpack and learn a lot about you tonight. So let's just start from the basics. When did you first discover that you... Well, actually, no, before I ask this question, tell our viewers what type of psychic you are and how you work.
I'm a energy healer, so just naturally have the ability to see past, present, future. I see, I feel, and I hear. And as the process that I've gone through in my journey is I just get visions, I get flashes, and I tend to see a lot of the divine and archangels. I see Jesus quite often. We have conversations, very, very connected. but as time went on, I found that I just had this natural ability to heal by touch, or what we call pranic healing, which means I can connect through my third eye and just heal a person, almost like doing a bit of psychic surgery, so to speak. So
Okay, so do you actually do like readings, like psychic readings, or is it just more healing based?
I do all of it. So I read, I see, and then I heal. So everything's kind of blended, everything's mixed together. So even when I'm, say, reading for a client, I pretty much can see what's happening in their life path, what's happening in their past, what's happening in their present, what's happening in their future, what the obstacles are, as well as looking at the client. I can also see like the internal organs, what is blocked, what, if there are issues there, or if there are any kind of internal ailments that's taking place, or if, say, for example, if there's issues with their kidneys, I can see it and I'm able to energetically heal it and clear it. If there's a lot of subconscious stuff happening in terms of a lot of brain rewiring, I'm able to do that as well. So it's almost as if like having a little X-ray in my eyes. I can see.
I could. No, I love that, and I could definitely use some liver healing. That's for sure. For those that know me well, no, I definitely could use some liver healing. Let's go back to the beginning, because there's already there quite a bit to unpack, especially the connection with Jesus. I know religion can be quite an interesting topic for a lot of people, but I would love to learn a little bit more about how that works. But what I want to know, when did it all start for you, and did you know what it was when the gift was happening?
I've always had it since I was a kid. I would just have visions of things that are about to happen before they happen. And I actually thought there was something wrong with me, or I would just blurt stuff out to family members and they would kind of look at me and then it would happen. It was quite prophetic. And I didn't think much of it. It just kind of came naturally. And as I was starting to get older, I had visitations by Divine Mother Goddess. In my culture, I'm Indian, South Indian. Mother Goddess Durga, or in Westerners, they see her as Mother Goddess Kali. But I always like to sort of say she's like Mother Mary in Christianity, in terms of the Divine Mother. She would visit me, and at first I was getting a little bit scared, going, what is going on here? But she would visit me and I would feel her presence and I would see her and she would talk to me. And so I guess, being from the Indian culture, my faith, the spiritual side of it, was always very, very strong in my family. And it kept me very, very connected, and it was part of my daily life. But it was more so part of my daily disciplines, in terms of my faith, which is very sacred and very, very personal. It's been like my guiding compass, since I was, born. But where it became very prevalent was about over a decade ago, when I was living in Melbourne. I was diagnosed with a very, very severe health crisis that turned my world upside down. And I wasn't given a lot of time to live, kind of situation. And it was a point where my whole world crumbled. Everything I had worked so hard for, having a great job, home, life, I had it all. And it all came crumbling down. My body was breaking down. My body was crumbling. And the medical procedures that I went through, and they botched me up, and, they couldn't really do much for me. And I was just at a loss and I couldn't keep anything that I worked hard for. So I guess every aspect of my life just crumbled, including my body.
Does that make you angry? Or did you
Yeah.
get angry at, say, spirit for allowing this to happen in that way?
I can honestly say there were moments where I did kind of scream and yell and go, why? What did I do wrong? Because even when I, built that life for myself, I was still helping people. I was giving people, roof over their head. I was helping people, financially or any kind of help people needed. I was still doing. And I guess even with the gift, I was still, I would have friends, wanting to have a reading with me and stuff like that. And I would still, doing readings and whatever. And prediction would all happen. And I was still helping people. And, but I got to a point going, what did I do wrong? Why is this happening to me? I mean, granted, the health issues, I was having since I was a kid. But I think the biggest thing was, one of the things that I've always wanted was to be a mum. And with this crisis, that opportunity got taken away from me, as well as the chance of having a life, so to speak. I was very, very angry. So I had to just pack everything up and I moved to Queensland, to my mum's healing lane in Queensland, to kind of work out what we're going to do. So, we found the specialist and went through treatments and surgeries and so forth. And I do believe I went to the other side. And they brought me back. So yeah, I've had, died and come back type of situation. And it was then things started to pick up with my gift. It was like, that was what just catapulted everything. If I'd have felt that I was able to feel and see, and I can, do readings and stuff like that, but this just opened up a whole new portal for me. And that's when it became quite prevalent, where I was getting a lot of visitations from divine beings. I still remember when Archangel Gabriel presented himself to me. And I mean, I knew, we are a tiny speck, in the big scheme of things in this world, in this universe. But to experience something like that, there was this human moment I felt, is there something wrong with me? Was there something that I just drank or what, But it became more and more and more. And I just had to kind of go, you know what? I just got to trust this. And
Definitely. And I think, so obviously you were given this sort of 6-month time frame that obviously is now truly passed. How did it go from you got 6 months to now that didn't happen? Was it just because of the processes that you went through, or do you think there was more spiritual backing that helped that?
I think it was a bit of both, in the sense of, when you're going through anything kind of medical type of thing, yeah, there's always going to be that ups and downs. But I had a moment where I thought, no, I want to live and I want to have the life that I want. So
Isn't that so, just to stop you there, isn't that so important, how that mind over matter, once we make the choice of, no, you're not going to win, I'm going to take my life back, how much, like, I'm just talking for everyone who's watching,
yeah,
they can
exactly,
probably resonate from it. Once you change your mindset, you change the outcome.
Yeah, exactly. And it was very, very much that, in that, no, I want to live and I'm going to do it. So hear me. Okay. It was like that. And yeah, I mean, yeah, granted, I went through all that process and treatments and, to sort of kind of rebuild my body and rebuild my mindset, rebuild my confidence again, but also, there was a lot of effects, and this is something I always talk to clients about. When you're at that major crossroad in life with whatever that happens, there is a severe emotional, mental, psychological challenges that you'll go through. But it's about understanding, okay, this has happened, but it's happened for a reason. What am I learning from this? And how can I turn that around? And I still look at the scars in my body, and I use it as a talisman, go, you know what? We're doing good. Thank you. Because, that was back in 2012 and 2013. And subsequently, during over that period to now, I was still sort of in and out of hospital a couple of times, but I still thought, you know what? It's okay. I'm going to keep pushing through. So I think it's again, that mind over matter. And, that was 2011, and I am now back in Melbourne.
Yes, I've got to say, you've done a full circle.
I'm back in Melbourne, and
because not only that, you obviously were one of the original psychics for Psychic TV.
Yeah,
took a break away, and now you've only just recently come back.
Yeah, I have. So I have come full circle, and it was very much of coming back to kind of go, I'm reclaiming what I lost, my life. But it's also coming back in a different way of fully walking my path and fulfilling my calling and doing the work I love.
The love. And I love it. I know you said this sort of backstage, but I do kind of want to bring it up because you said recently, since you've come back to Melbourne, the areas where that all happened for you, you're saying that you said goodbye. Do you want to just explain that?
Yes. Last Saturday, I was on my way to Moonee Ponds, where I'm going to be working from as well. And I had to go past Ascot Vale, where I used to live. But as I was nearing Ascot Vale, I could feel my heart was just starting to beat really, really, really fast. And I was starting to get very, very emotional. And all of a sudden, tears just started flowing. And as the train was pulling up at Ascot Vale Station, I looked over and I could see the apartment block where I lived. That's where I got diagnosed. I was living there when I got diagnosed. And I just and I don't know why, even the train was kind of stopped for a good 2 minutes, which was strange. But in that time, I was able to really say goodbye to that Sathia. I was able to say goodbye to her, to say thank you, I love you, and I'm so sorry, you went through that, we went through that, but I'm closing that door now. Goodbye. I am now the new Sathia, bigger and brighter and better. I love you.
I love that. I love that. I feel like this has turned into like an Oprah moment, but I absolutely love.
No, it was really interesting.
But it's yeah.
I just had to, and I don't know where it came from. I just, and what was really interesting is that when I used to live in Melbourne, when I used to work at Optus, every time I used to get off a Collins Street station, I would put Sia's titanium. I would put it on and I would walk to work. And I had to put it on. And Mother Goddess said to me, she said, daughter, put the song on. I'm like, really, Mommy? Put the song on. And I put it on. And I think that's what kind of brought everything up. And it was a very, very pivotal moment for me last weekend where I had to say goodbye to that woman who I loved, that built an incredible life in Melbourne over a decade ago on her own. I didn't have anyone to really help me, Not when people say, you have to have a man to give you stuff. No, I did it by myself. Thank you very much. But to say goodbye to her, and it took me about a minute or so after that to kind of regather myself. And I can honestly say Michael, I just felt this huge burden just got lifted off me. And as I got off at Mooney Pond Station, everything just felt so clear, and I just started to walk. Hi.
Did you play the song?
It was in my head still. It was still in my head. It was still pounding in my head, but it was like, okay, we got this. All right. Where's the street?
I love everything about that. Absolutely every detail about that story. And I think anyone listening to your story can definitely, on some level, resonate in regards to sometimes we do need to say goodbye to the old us and celebrate and recognize the new us and the journey and the work that we've done to get to where we are now, which is what you've done. So to acknowledge that, but I love the way you explained it by you said goodbye and thanked that person. Because if it wasn't for that person, you wouldn't be the person you are today.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I feel that, you know, the way everything, I mean, I always knew that Melbourne was where my path was, even back, you know, over a decade ago. I mean, I woke up one morning and said, I'm moving to Melbourne. I didn't know anybody. And, you know, my parents were like, why do you want to go to Melbourne? I said, I don't know. I just woke up. My heart was just getting pulled going, you're going to Melbourne. So I got a transfer with Optus, and then, you know, I moved. But I always felt it was like, this is where I belong and this is my home. This is where my heart is. And I always felt that resonance. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I had to sort of go to get whatever I had to get done. And then it was like the universe's way of saying, okay, time, you're going to come back. And what was interesting, if I might add, when I started to build my business and with my spiritual work, instead of just doing psychic readings, I wanted to incorporate all my different abilities to help people feel empowered, to heal them and change their mindset and co-create with the divine the life that they want and they deserve and so forth. And it was interesting, about 2 years ago when I got approached by Mind Body Spirit Festival, and I'm like, oh, okay, I've been applying to these guys for 5 years and nothing was happening. But I just felt that everything had to be the right timing, you know, and I was coming back and forth the last couple of years. And then it was just like, okay, now it's time now to fully come back home. And here I am.
Here you are, and here you are today sharing your beautiful story. There's a lot I'm just like thinking, God, I could talk to you all night. So I do want to talk about Mother Goddess and explain that a little bit more in detail. And I do also want to talk about vision boards as well, because I mentioned that while you were getting ready before. But before we get on to that, we do have some just questions. So anyway, thank you to everyone who's watching. I am acknowledging you. So sorry, I did see. So Beth finds this really interesting. I'm sure you all do. Vicky, good evening from Australia. Let us know where in Australia you are. I did see someone from Canada. Carrie Ann.
Hi, Canada.
Good morning. Good morning from Canada. We're going international tonight. Lisa said so sorry. Lots of love to you as well. Stephanie has read with you. You're an angel. I don't know if you must know Stephanie. You've had a session with her.
Yes, yes, I have. Hi, sweetie.
Hi, Terry. Good to see you as well. Keep doing what you love. Lisa's saying go girlfriend. Lots of yes. So you're all there. Thank you for sharing. I'm sure everyone's just sitting there just listening right now. I think it's a listening show tonight. Usually there's conversations, but I think everyone's just, absorbing. I can almost feel like the energy, just people are just absorbing what you have to say, which I think is beautiful. Veronica, good to see you as well. Now Lisa has asked, in regards to your healing, are you able to do that without the person being there physically?
Yes, I can.
You do remote healing?
Yeah, I do remote healing. Yeah. Okay, all I require is just their essence, and their permission first, and then I call on their guides, their permission, and then I work on them.
Perfect. Rachel's saying that she has been having signs from her grandfather and then randomly was tagged in this. So there's always a sign. And I love that too. Like, that's why I say, if you can share this page, please do so, because there's someone randomly out there that's going to see it and go, oh, I need to hear that message today. That's why the sharing so important. Not because we want the likes. I mean, that helps. It's really just to get the message out there, you know, like attracts like. Lisa's done what you've done, going through trying to forgive the old me and saying goodbye to the past. It can be hard too. It's not an easy thing to do. I'm not saying everyone can just go out there and do that, but once you're able to find a way to do it, it does release, as you said, a lot of burden, a lot of heaviness. It does, it does make a huge difference. So just making sure I've not missed. No, beautiful. Okay, so back on track. Actually, while we're at it, I'll just do a quick plug. You know, we are running a business here. So you can go to psychictvinternational.com. We have Benjamin available on 9166. Blessed Beth, who I believe is also watching tonight, on 9150. Judith Sky on 9125. And Natalie Norm Baker on pin 9810. Okay. Lisa has asked... Lisa's asked how we get in contact with you. Now, we're not allowed to promote our personal pages on this show, unfortunately. We do have to keep it. So really the best way to contact with Sathia is on the phones when you do log in. Do you have set days, or is it just when you're available when you log in?
I'm on every morning mostly, unless I have appointments and so forth. But normally I'm on from about 10 o'clock till about 1 o'clock in the morning. 12.
Depending on your day. So Lisa, I would recommend just jumping on the phones and having a chat. Let's talk about Mother Goddess. So you briefly mentioned, because I find this so fascinating, because every time I speak to you, you're always like, Mummy's told me to call you. And I always thought, when I first got to know you, I thought you were talking about your real mum. I'm like, what's going on here? Then I learned it. So you're saying it's a cultural thing for you. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's the Hindu culture, the Hindu faith, and who we believe in Divine Mother Goddess Durga, Mother Goddess Kali. In Buddhism, she's referred to as Kuan Yin. I mean, I know there's a lot of, Eastern philosophies that a lot of Westerners have adopted, but she's Divine Mother. She's the Divine Mother of the universe. And
so is it like a spirit guide, so to speak? Like, is she your spirit guide?
She is everyone's spirit guide. She's everyone's guide. Right. She's the mother of the universe, and she takes care of all of us children. But again, the best way I can explain it, I suppose, is it's an energy. It's a vibration. Okay, it's a motherly vibration energy. Yes, there's statues. It's very similar to, you see statues of Jesus Christ, and everyone has a different, vision of what Jesus Christ looks like. But when I connect with Jesus, or when he decides to come and visit me whenever he feels like it, I feel and see his vibration. I see his light. And yes, sometimes I will see the man, but it's a vibration, it's an energy. And I hear his voice. And, when I was when I was living with my mum in the Healing Land, I could be doing the gardening and I will see him sitting next to me. Okay. And it's just this energy and this vibration, and I will see his eyes and I will hear his voice, and whatever message he has to give me or whatever he wants to talk to me about. So Mother Goddess is very much like that. I mean, there's a lot of references to Kali, and that's another aspect of Mother Goddess. And that aspect, as much as she might look very ferocious, she's not. She is the one that destroys human ego in you, right, so that you operating from a space of pure love as part of your transformation. So Divine Mother Goddess, she works through my body. She works through me. So when I'm doing healing work, it's actually her using me as I am her conduit to heal you. So when I'm channeling, she is working through me. So the messages that I'm getting, is, her talking to you. And sometimes she will separate herself so that I am just Sathia passing on the message. But in some instances, she will come through my body and give the messages that way. So,
Okay.
I
And
mean,
I've
you can do
noticed
the
too,
Google
like,
search and
just
you can do the Google search
no,
and have a look at what she looks like, but it's just energy. Yeah. Yeah.
no, and I love that. But also too, like when I do speak to you, like you would sometimes mention, oh yeah, Mother Goddess has told me to give you a call today, or she's
Yeah.
told me to turn left, or she's told me to go
Yeah.
to Woolies or something. So she
Yeah.
obviously gives you like directions as
Yeah.
well.
She's my compass. She's my guide. She's my compass. And it's very much, I'm just so connected with her. And it's not to say that I live my life by her rules, so to speak, because I am a human being, but she is that mother that,
Does she ever tell you off?
oh yeah, she does. She does. And I do get into trouble with her. But she is like the mother that looks after her child, and she will discipline me when she needs to discipline me, or she will encourage me when she needs to do so. But it's very much, like a parent taking care of a child and being there, but the parent also lets the child go and explore and enjoy and do whatever. But she is my guide, so, but I also have my own autonomy where I make my own decisions and choices, and I am a human being. I am here to live my life and do whatever, but it is there, as a source to connect with. So
And
if
was
that
it?
makes
I
sense.
know you kind of, 100% it does. And I know you kind of briefly touched on this in regards to the journey where it all started for you and that. So, with Mother Goddess and your gift and things like that, was it always as clear as it is now? Was it something that you had to work towards to get as strong as you are now? Like, was it as clear as it is now? Was it like that at the beginning?
In the beginning, it was very, very, very clear, but then there was a period where it was very, kind of touch and go. It was here, there, or no there type of thing. Because at that time, there was a period where I had to go through a lot of cathartic processes, a lot of psychological stuff that I had to work through and heal through, but also go through a lot of human life experience as well. And I did go through some really, really dark times in my life. The process of coming to terms with, I'm not going to be able to be a mum, I'm not going to be able to have children, that emotional human aspect of it, I just had to go through by myself, and then snapped out of it and going, no. And when I did that, that's when it started to become even more clearer and clearer and clearer. Because what happened was I went from a victim mode to victorious mode, in the sense of, no, I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm just going to learn to push all this love here, and I'm just going to give it to people, and I'm going to help other people to say, don't be a victim, you can turn your life around, type of thing. And that's when it amped up, and it became just so clear. And all the healing work, everything, when I would do meditation work in the mornings, she would appear and she would teach me how to heal. So, for example, if I had, an insect bite, or I had, some swelling in my arm or something like that, she would show me how, through the third eye, to go into my body, and then heal the cells with my energy. So,
Right.
it's a bit like using like a spark plug, or like a torch type of thing, how to heal it. So I went through spiritual training with her. So I would have dedicated time and go into meditation and going into the fifth dimensional highest state. And I would go to class, and she would teach me, and
I
how
love
to
that.
rewire the brain and all of that. So
Yeah.
she became my teacher.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Wow. And I just love how you've gone on this journey, and a lot of it you've sort of worked out on your own too. Like, I don't know if you've had much support in the physical sense. You obviously had a lot in the spiritual,
Yeah.
but have you had much physical support? Like you said, your family was spiritual.
Yeah, my family are, very, very spiritual, and my mum's property in Queensland, we've got two temples that, we built as a family, one for Mother Goddess and one for our family guardian, Aya, who's an aspect of Lord Shiva. And in Western culture, we talk about meditation, everyone would be aware who Lord Shiva is. And that's where meditation came from. Everything about meditation comes from Lord Shiva. Yoga comes from Lord Shiva. So we have a temple there. So, we would do all the temple duties. When I was living there, I would pretty much do all of that. So it was very much like going into a temple, and you do all the rituals and so forth. But it was very much a space of fully connecting to source, and that's where I started my learning, my studies, and that healing process. So I kind of lived in a little bit of isolation for a period. Um, so
I
that's
think we
how,
all did for a period,
yeah. I think
referring to
it's
that
really,
2020.
I believe, yeah, I believe it's really necessary to, for anybody who's really at a crossroad, to just be kind to yourself and take some time out and just withdraw and just reevaluate, because that then gives you some clarity, but the clarity comes from here rather than here. Because the more you start talking to your body or start asking yourself the question, what do I want, what do I want to do? How do I want to live? What do I want to do that makes me feel fulfilled? You will intuitively start to get the answers, and then you start to apply. So, but I didn't really have mentors or teachers or anything like that. I mean, as time's gone on, yes, I have connected with people who've been doing this work for a very, very long time. And, in some ways, they've become my mentors. And I remember when I was told, I should be doing this work professionally, because in my culture, we don't take money. When you have a gift, we don't take money. But I had to go through this process of going to the temple and kind of sit and work out, okay, this is the path for me, this is what I'm meant to do. And then I was given the signs why. And I'm like, oh, okay, so I can earn a living, have a roof over my head, food to eat, and have that security, stability, and then focus my energy to help people, help humanity. Um, and that's how it all kind of started from there. So, yeah.
Perfect. I'm just looking at the comments. So, Nita, Christine, great to see you jumping on a bit late tonight. That's okay. You'll get you a late pass. I do recommend, if you have the time later or at some stage, Nita and Christine or anyone who's just jumped on now, please do go back to the start after the show and rewatch, because there's a lot of heaviness and lightness at the same time that we did talk about, that Nita especially, even you, Christine, I think you both could benefit from that. So it's a shame you missed the start. Anyone who's been watching would contest, but I would, yeah, if you can, go back at some stage and watch the start of the show, because there was a lot we unpacked there. And we've still got time. We've still got, so thank you everyone who's going. Lisa has just said that she sent you a private message, so after the show, maybe go and check that through your business page, I'm guessing. God, there's just so, it's like I have a million and one questions, and Spirit's obviously directing, and I'm like, I don't know where to go, but we'll keep it. Obviously, for those that are watching, please don't be afraid to post any. Obviously, we're not doing psychic readings tonight. We've made that clear. But if you want to ask any sort of spiritual type questions or anything that Sathia has already talked about tonight, if there's something that you want to ask a bit more detail, if you want a bit more clarity on a few things, because like I said, there's a lot that we've spoken about. So if there's something there that you want a bit more, please feel free to ask. Hi, Jocelyn. Everyone's jumping on now. It's amazing. But if only you came on half an hour earlier, you've missed a really great start to the show. But that's okay. You can always go back and watch. I'm even going to go back and watch because I can't sort of enjoy it as much when I'm sort of thinking, you know, I've got to obviously pay attention and do a job, but I always like to go back after and I can just sit back and watch it. So yeah, please, if you do have a question, definitely ask it. Again, not spiritual related, yes, not psychic related. Now, we talked a little bit about, because I know you're a big broker extended. We can't extend it. I wish. But I do want to talk about vision boards because you've mentioned them a few times and you do use them a lot. I'm not one that uses them. I feel like I should. How do you talk about, the vision board process, how it works for you and how you benefit from it?
Yeah. I guess to go back to that crossroads where I was at of, okay, how do I rebuild my life? What do I want to do? Okay, I've got all these abilities. And I wanted to put it to good use. And this is my calling, my path. But that's not to say that I'm not going to have, you know, the life that I want as well, you know, have a home and love and travel and all of that. Okay, what do I want to do? So I decided to I just drew a picture of having like a healing center or, you know, a coaching business or something like that. So I just grabbed Canva and I just sort of designed, you know, and then I had my business logo and I just wrote, you know, helping people through my healing and coaching business, having a beautiful house, and I'll just get a picture and, you know, just draw it. And then it started to work and I would put, I'm really healthy. And I had a picture of myself and I put it on my vision board going, and I had put in words around, I'm really mentally, emotionally, physically strong and healthy and positive, you know, and I just started to just add images. And what I noticed was every morning I would look at it on my laptop and go, thank you, Mother Goddess. Thank you, universe, for helping me vibrate at this incredible state of being energetically, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, as this is a reality that I want to create for myself. Thank you for helping me.
That's what I was going to ask then. So you do yours on a laptop, so it's a digital vision board as opposed to an actual physical one that you have in your room. Is that correct?
Well, you could have that. I mean, I actually had it like, you know, pieces of paper and whatever else. I would tell, you know, my clients, you know, just grab a butcher's paper, stick it on a wall, you know, cut pictures out from newspapers or magazine and just stick it. And just, it's like something that you're looking at every day. And because I'm working off my laptop every day, it just, as soon as I, you know, open my laptop, turn it on, I see my vision board there. It's the first thing I see. So I'm seeing it. So straight away I'm connecting to it. So that sets the tone for me to go, thank you. This is what I'm working towards. This is the healthy body that I am working towards. This is the healthy mind I'm working towards. That gives me a point of reference. Or you could have it, you know, stuck onto your, you know, bathroom mirror or whatever you want to put, wherever you want. Have a vanilla paper.
Yeah, no, I think that's the important part. 'Cause I think for me, that's where the confusion started. It's like, okay, I know what I can put on there, but I don't know how, like, can I just do it online, all that work? Do I get a piece of paper? Do I, you know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people, and I've had these conversations with others in the past, and they have the same thought process of they do get confused on, like, is there a set way to do it? But it's not, because it is just intention setting, isn't it? So
yeah, exactly. But it's also it's a point, it's a reference, something that you have. I mean, I've even got, you know, some of my clients, you know, if they've created it digitally, they save it and they have it as their mobile phone wallpaper, as a screensaver.
Oh,
what happens? What happens?
idea.
People wake up, first thing what they do, they go and grab their phone, right? So that's the first thing you look at. That's what I'm working towards. You know, it's like as soon as you see it, it just hits. It's the same thing as, you know, if you wake up first thing in the morning and you're straight away checking the news, and the news is not always going to be pleasant. And if you're reading some really unpleasant stuff, that's stuck in your head. you know. So I always, when I wake up, I always like to do my little tapping exercises to calm my central nervous system, all my different energy points that I do tapping. And I always say, wherever I was in my dream state that's not good for me, I clear it out of my energy field and my body. I clear it, you know, just kind of shake my body up a little bit and go, I'm going to raise my positive vibration. I'm raising my positive vibration. And then I'll check my phone and then I see my vision board. Like, okay, cool, you know, and then it just sets the tone. So you can grab a butcher's paper, cut images, photos of yourself, you know, how you want to look, strong, fit, healthy. If you want to buy, you know, a particular type of car, take a photo of that car or have a photo, you know, picture of it, put it on your vision board to go, I own that car outright, or something like that. So something that is there that you're working towards, so that your mind, your psyche, and your body starts to work together. And then that kind of helps also with your mindset shifts, as well as starting to have your brain being rewired to see the possible rather than the impossible. Okay? Because
yeah, keep going.
Our minds are a powerful tool, because what happens is, if you're still holding on to subconscious doubts and fears or self-sabotaging traits and so forth, or if there's still a lot of traumas from your past that your body is still holding on to, you can sit there and try to manifest as much as you want, and you're going to have challenges. But by kind of counteracting it in that way, your body will automatically start to react, and you might feel resistance and make you feel uncomfortable, but that facilitates you to go and get some form of healing work done and get the right type of help that you need to get in order to get into alignment to what you want to get. Okay, but part of that process also with working with the vision board is everyone has guardian angels, everyone has the divine helping. So as you're working with that, you naturally will start to flow and come into alignment to what is for your highest good and what has been already divinely ordained and blessed, okay, for your highest good. And the other part is you know, we have a little window, you have a small percentage that you can co-create with the divine as well. They give you a little bit of room, but what actually happens is you start to come into alignment to your divine path, to what's already been ordained for you.
Right.
In so many different ways. And people always talk about free will and so forth. Yes, free will is there, but the divine will always go, okay, we're going to give you a little bit of free will in this situation. Off you go. To go and find out, to have the lessons, to have the experiences, but ultimately you will always come back to the path you were meant to be on as well, because they will allow you to have those experiences to go, okay, this doesn't resonate with me on a soul level anymore. Because what happens is you start to operate from a soul level rather than the human logical level, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. Wow, I just feel like I'm learning so much. I always learn something on a Thursday night, so I'm not surprised. But and that's what I love about these shows is everyone's got their own story to tell and their own experience to share, which makes it so fascinating. Jocelyn has been saying that she likes vision boards. When I was in Perth, I switched on to visualizing my third eye, and that has helped me. For example, driving, she was scared, but now she drives like a pro.
Excellent. Because what actually happens is, Jocelyn, that's brilliant, because when you start off with something and it's just a point of reference, eventually it becomes naturally part of your psyche, that it's in your mind already. That you know you're working towards, and it then starts to work with your body and your confidence, and everything starts to shift internally. So that's awesome.
How's it been? Like you mentioned before with your culture that when you're helping people, you're not supposed to take money. How have you gotten over that to be able to
Oh,
run a
that
business?
was really, really difficult. So what I did was I went to this is when I was in Sydney, and I went to um, the one of the temples. And I went there to sort of say, okay, this is the path you want me to be on, blah, 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 give me a sign. And as I was sitting there, I was noticing the patrons going to the reception to pay for the blessings. So like different kind of blessings you can do at the temple. And and there would be like trays of fruit that would be like $15. Certain other things would be $10 and $5 to do the blessings in front of the deity and so forth. It's like going to the church and you purchase a candle to light a candle, a bit like that. And I thought, okay, I suppose the money is needed for the electricity, the flowers, the food, the free food that the patrons would get at the temple. That would cost, for the rice, milk, this, that, and the other. Um, you know, the phone lines and this. It was just like, okay. So what you're saying is doing this work, I earn the income, I have a home, I get to do this. Okay. And that was like, yes, okay, get it now. So then, yeah, I just kind of went with it. And then it just slowly became, okay, I understand. It's an exchange of energy. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important. Yeah, because
Because
I've heard it.
yeah, it's an exchange. I mean, I've had clients or people I know who've really, really struggled. And then there have been countless times where I've just said, and this is friends or people I know, I just go, just light a candle and just say, thank you, universe, thank you, God. Whomever you pray to or believe in, just light a candle and just say, thank you for helping me by allowing me to speak with Sathia, who's guided me or did healing work on me, and light the candle, because that's an exchange of energy. Because fire is energy, is light, and it burns away any negativity as well. So I always just light a candle as an exchange of energy.
Okay, I'm gonna buy some candles. What before we wrap up, what's sort of one bit of advice, general advice that you can just sort of give to everyone right now to seek comfort?
Life is beautiful, and the universe is positively abundant of life, wealth, stability, security, sustenance in every essence available to us human beings. Where the lack is our human selves thinking that we're lacking. There is no lack. It's our mindset that causes the lack. So, piece of advice is look at life as beautiful and it's abundant for what you desire and deserve, so long as you seek it in the right way.
Beautiful.
And I
Beautiful. And
just want,
trust.
I just
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
just add a little bit more as well. I had one of your other beautiful guests on a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I was watching it, and she said, "None of us are getting out of here alive."
Ah,
Okay,
yes. I
and
think
I
Terry, that
love
was
that.
you. Terry, I think Terry's watching now. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
I
that was
love
Terry who
that
said that.
because
We're not getting out of
I
here alive.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a quote from Keanu Reeves, and I love all of Keanu's stuff. And it's true, none of us are. So make the best of what you have. And the other thing is for every challenge there is a solution. You just have to shift your mindset so the solution presents itself.
Okay. There we go. There we go. Thank you so much for coming on. I am definitely 100% having you back on soon, because I think there's more we could probably go into in different areas of sort of
Yeah.
the spirituality side. So we'll definitely have you on again at some stage in the future. But thank you so much.
Oh, it's been my absolute pleasure. I wasn't sure how things were going to be tonight, but I just trusted that things are just going to flow. And I just hope that, my story is going to, help a lot of people. And, there are many others out there who have gone through similar to myself and who are still going through similar. Just believe and trust and know you are worthy of the life that you want and go get it.
Exactly. Go get it. Get those vision boards going now. I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to get onto Canva and start visioning. Thank you so much. I know I'll chat to you again. Absolute pleasure to have you on. And yeah, we'll chat very soon.
Okay. Bye, guys.
And thank you for those that have watched tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure having you all watching. I know you've all learned something. I know I definitely have. For those that have jumped on late or have just kind of jumped on, please do go back if you have the time. Go back and watch the start of the show. You'll understand and thank me later. There was quite a lot that we discussed and went through that I think you could definitely resonate, but it also makes sense from what you've just been watching. So if you can, please do go back and watch. I'm back next week, as always, with Chantal Miranda. So Chantal is locked in for next week. So same time, 8 o'clock. So for those that have come late, it's 8 o'clock. Not 8:30, 8 o'clock on next Thursday with Chantal Miranda. And then the week after that is the big one. We have Harry T. Harry T has never done well, not anytime soon has he done a public forum like this where he's actually going to talk and answer questions about his journey. So that's in 2 weeks' time. So that's the big one. And I can officially announce that our CEO, Jane Brady, will be joining him the week after. Well, not him. Will be joining me, sorry, the week after. So definitely mark your calendars. We've got some big 3 weeks coming up. If this was a TV show, there'll be huge marketing promotion. So we have a huge 3 weeks of shows coming up. So definitely set your next 3 Thursdays aside. I've got Chantal Miranda next week, Harry T the week after, and then Jane, our CEO, the week after that. She has never done a live public show talking about her business. So that's going to be a huge, huge show. I'm actually nervous. So thank you to everyone that's been watching. Thank you for tonight's guest. Thank you to all your questions, all your beautiful souls. Get those vision boards going and get those manifestations happening. And yeah, I think there was so much to take from tonight. Where do you begin? Just, I think, forgiving yourself and saying goodbye to the old you and celebrating and welcoming the new you. So until then, I will see. Oh, by the way, tomorrow is Lionsgate. I was supposed to mention that. Well, not that I was supposed to, but for those that are interested, the 8th of August, tomorrow is Lionsgate. So speaking of manifestations, if you wanted to start a vision board and get those manifestations going, tomorrow is probably the most strongest day of the year that you can do it. Now, I am not a complete expert on Lionsgate, and I should have spoken to our guest about this, but I know it's a very strong portal for manifestations. I'm not sure if 8 o'clock at night is a particular time or if there's a particular time that you're supposed to do it. Production, if you know, you want to quickly message me, or maybe someone in the thread that's watching might know this. But tomorrow, the 8th of August, is Lionsgate. If you don't know what that is, Google it, because that's what I'm going to do. But I do know it is it's a great day of manifestation, letting go of what you want to let go, welcome in the new energy, and manifest what it is that you want. 888, yes. Production has just said 888. But 8 is in, Lisa's never heard of it. Google Lionsgate. Tomorrow's a huge, huge day spiritually. It's the 8th of the 8th. So it's the 8th month, the 8th day. And I think it's the 8th hour, 888. But I don't know if it's 8 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock at night, from midnight to midnight. Yes. But I think there's a particular, if you really, really wanted to hit the nail on the head, the real magical point, I think it's 8 o'clock at night or something. Anyway, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Right. Okay. Thank you, production. So production has just said it starts at 8 a.m. tomorrow and finishes at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. So the 8th of the 8th from 8 to 8. So between 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow, manifest the shit out of your stuff, of whatever it is that you want. So it's interesting that we talked about vision boards today and manifestations, because tomorrow is like the day to do it. So hopefully we've inspired you to get going. Enjoy Lionsgate tomorrow. I will see you next week with Chantel Miranda, and it's been great to have you.